Have you ever stopped to think why some women our age always seem to have that fresh, modern look, while others, well, end up giving off a somewhat outdated vibe? You know that feeling of looking in the mirror and sensing that something isn't quite right, but you can't put your finger on what it is? Look, I completely understand that feeling, because I've been there too. And today, I'm going to share with you 8 simple wardrobe adjustments that will make all the difference. These are practical changes that any of us can make without needing to spend a fortune. And there's one item here on the list, number 6, which is something you probably do every day, but in a way that might be sabotaging your entire look. When you discover what it is, you'll have that aha moment. So stay with me until the end, because by finishing this video, you'll know exactly how to refresh your style and never feel outdated again. Let's go? Tip 1. Replace synthetic pieces with quality natural fabrics. First thing that makes a huge difference, fabrics. You know that blouse you bought super cheap, but after a few washes it already had that somewhat weird look? Well, usually it's the synthetic fibers doing their thing. Look, I'm not saying you need to go out buying only expensive silk and linen, okay? But when you swap that polyester blouse for a good quality cotton one, or that synthetic dress for one made of natural viscose, the difference is immediately visible. Natural fabrics breathe better, drape better on the body, and age much more elegantly. That basic cotton t-shirt, for example, after some time gets that charm of a beloved piece, while the synthetic one just looks old. So next time you go shopping, take a look at the label. Look for cotton, linen, natural, viscose, wool. It might cost a little more, but it's an investment worth every penny. And speaking of investments that are worthwhile, if you're enjoying these practical tips, subscribe to the channel. Every week I bring content like this, straight to the point so we can feel more and more confident. Tip 2, invest in custom-made or perfectly fitted clothes. Now comes a truth that hurts but needs to be said. No matter how expensive a piece of clothing is, if it's not in your correct size, it will look cheap and dated. You know that blazer you love, but the sleeves are a bit too long? Or that perfect pants, but they drag a little on the floor? These small imperfections make all the difference in the final result. Look, I know that tailoring clothes seems like a rich people thing, but it's not. Any good seamstress can work miracles, shortening a sleeve, adjusting the waist of pants, reducing the length of a dress. These are simple adjustments that cost between 20 to 50 reais and completely transform the piece. The difference between clothes that fit and clothes that were made for you is striking. When clothes have the perfect fit, you automatically have better posture, feel more confident, and it shows. A practical tip: when buying a more expensive piece like a blazer or a dress for special occasions, already include about 30 reais in your budget for adjustments. It's better to buy a good piece a little big and have it tailored. If you're enjoying these style tips, leave your like on the video. Your interaction helps this content reach more incredible women like you. Tip 3. Replace dated prints with elegant solid colors. Let's talk about prints, because this is a subject that creates a lot of confusion. That print that was a hit 5 years ago might be giving you away more than you imagine. You know those very specific prints from a certain era? Like those giant florals from the 2010s? Or those super colorful geometric patterns? They kind of get stamped in time, you know? When someone sees them, they already know more or less when they're from. I'm not saying you should banish all prints from your life, but how about taking a break from them and investing more in elegant, solid colors? A navy blue dress, an off-white blouse, moss green pants. These colors have an incredible power to make any look current and sophisticated. And you know what the advantage is? Solid colors are much easier to combine with each other. You can create different looks with the same pieces, and everything always looks harmonious. If you miss prints, you can introduce more classic and timeless patterns, discrete stripes, small polka dots, or a very subtle plaid. These never go out of style. Tell me here in the comments, are you more of a print team, or do you prefer to bet on solid colors? I'm curious to know. Tip 4. Update haircut with modern professional. Now let's talk about something many people underestimate: the haircut. Girls, hair is the frame of the face, and an outdated frame can age us by years. You know that cut you've been doing for a long time, with the same hairdresser as always? Sometimes we get so used to it that we don't even notice it might be a bit dated. That cut that was beautiful 10 years ago might not be flattering your face today. Look, I understand the resistance to changing professionals. We create a bond, trust. But sometimes it's worth doing some research, seeing work from other professionals, especially those who are always updating themselves with trends. A modern cut doesn't need to be radical, okay? It can just be an update in the layers, a different fringe, or even a subtle change in length. The important thing is that the cut speaks to who you are today. And don't forget, a well-done cut makes daily life much easier. Hair that has a good cut looks beautiful, even a little messy, you know? If you're enjoying these renewal tips, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because every week I bring content like this so we can reinvent ourselves without losing our essence. Tip 5. Choose contemporary but classic accessories. Let's talk about accessories, because they can be your best friends or your biggest enemies when it comes to looking current. You know those accessories we've kept for years, that somewhat flashy necklace that was a hit in the 2000s, or that bag with a super specific shape? Well, they might be revealing our age more than we'd like. The key here is to choose accessories that are contemporary, but without being a passing fad. For example, a structured bag in classic format but in a current color, or a watch with clean and modern design, but that won't go out of style next year. Sunglasses also fall into this category. That model you've been wearing for years might be aging you. It's worth updating and choosing a format that's trending, but classic enough to last. Earrings also make all the difference. If you've always worn those very small earrings, how about trying some a little bigger, but elegant? Or if you've always been from the bigger, the better team, it might be time to bet on something more discreet and modern. The secret is finding the balance between being current and not looking like you're trying to be younger than you are. Tell me, what's that accessory you always wear and can't let go of? Sometimes an external opinion helps. Tip 6. Maintain coherent and sophisticated color palette. And we reach item number 6, the one I promised would give you that click in your head. It's about the color palette, and it's probably something you do every day without realizing it. You know when you open the closet and have that feeling that you have lots of clothes, but nothing goes with anything? Or when you put together a look and it seems like something strange, but you can't identify what? Usually it's the color palette that's disorganized. Look how interesting. When we don't have a coherent palette, even using individually beautiful pieces, the final result looks kind of messy. And this automatically ages the look because it gives an impression of carelessness. The solution is simpler than it seems. Choose 3 to 5 colors that work well together and look beautiful on you. For example, navy blue, white, beige, and a touch of red, or black, gray, off-white, and camel. When you go shopping, only buy pieces in these colors. It seems limiting, but it's liberating, because anything in your closet will match anything else. You'll have many more outfit possibilities with fewer pieces. And you know what the bonus is? You'll look much more elegant and sophisticated, because you'll have that visual coherence that people notice, even unconsciously. Tip 7. Prioritize modern silhouettes with balanced proportions. Let's talk about silhouettes, because this is a point that makes a huge difference, and many people don't realize it. You know those clothes that were trendy a few years ago with very specific shapes? Like those very loose blouses from the 2000s, 10s, or those super tight pants that stuck to the leg? Well, these shapes get somewhat dated over time. What's trending now are more balanced silhouettes that respect the body without exaggerating to either side. If you're going to wear a looser blouse, balance it with more fitted pants. If the pants are wider, the blouse can be more fitted. It's that story of balance, you know? You don't need to show all curves at once, nor hide everything. The idea is to create a visual harmony that's elegant and current. And look how nice. These balanced silhouettes are usually much more comfortable too. You don't get that feeling of being too tight or swimming in the clothes. A practical tip: when trying on clothes, look at yourself in a full-length mirror. Ask yourself, is this silhouette speaking to my body in an elegant way? Tip 8. Impeccably care for conservation and presentation of pieces. And we reach the last item, which might be the most important of all: conservation of pieces. Because it's no use having beautiful clothes if they're poorly cared for, right? You know that blouse you love, but that has some little pulls? Or those perfect pants, but that need ironing? These details make all the difference in the final result. A well-cared-for piece of clothing, even if simpler, will always look more elegant than an expensive piece that's poorly maintained. It's impressive how people notice these details, even unconsciously. Some practical tips: invest in a good steam iron, learn to remove small stains at home, and always store clothes clean and well folded. Oh, and don't forget about shoes. A well-cared-for shoe elevates any look. Another important thing: if a piece is very worn out, sometimes it's better to say goodbye to it than to insist. It's better to have fewer clothes but all well-maintained than a closet full of pieces that aren't presentable. So that's it, girls. These 8 adjustments are truly transformative. They're not radical changes, they're intelligent adjustments that make all the difference. Let me recap quickly. Natural fabrics, well-fitted clothes, elegant solid colors, updated haircut, contemporary accessories, coherent palette, balanced silhouettes, and well-cared-for pieces. Simple, but powerful. The best part is you don't need to do everything at once. You can implement gradually, at your pace, and within your budget. The important thing is to start. If you like these tips, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell, because every week I bring content like this, so we can feel more and more confident and elegant. And don't forget to like the video. Tell me here in the comments, which of these tips will you start putting into practice first? And if you already do any of them, tell us about the experience. I love reading your comments. If you love these tips, then what comes next, you're simply going to fall in love with. Right here beside, I left a video that's practically a manual for you to continue becoming that elegant, powerful woman who exudes confidence, presence, and that air of sophistication that everyone notices. And it doesn't stop there. There's also a complete playlist full of videos that will elevate your style, your image, and your self-esteem even more in a practical, accessible way, without needing designer brands. Click now, because every video you watch is one more step toward becoming that woman who enchants wherever she goes. Let's continue this wonderful journey together. See you now in the next video.